Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden traveled to Kenosha, Wisconsin today in the aftermath of the police shooting of Jacob Blake. The city has seen violent protests in the 11 days since police shot Blake in the back. Biden brought a message of healing, but it's clear wooing voters was top of mind. Trump won Wisconsin by the narrowest of margins 4 years ago, and the state is once again expected to be a key battleground in November's presidential election. CBC News senior correspondent Susan Ormiston has more about Biden's visit to Kenosha.
A chorus of Black Lives Matters demonstrators greeted the former vice president's motorcade as it came along this street into a church here in Kenosha. Joe Biden says he's come here as a healer and a unifier, choosing to meet community leaders in a church and privately, in stark contrast to President Trump, who toured the burned out and destroyed businesses in Uptown. And this really underscores the differences in these two candidates for president. In their first real test on the campaign, Joe Biden has not been out campaigning, and this is his first trip outside of northeastern United States to come here to the Midwest. Earlier today, he met with Jacob Blake's family, the black man who was shot by a white police officer here in Kenosha just over 10 days ago, and which gave rise to the looting and violent demonstrations. The family's lawyer said they met for 90 minutes, and Biden commiserated with the family and seemed to indicate he cared and set out his plans for change about racial injustice in this country. Biden has said that the officer who shot Jacob Blake should be charged. Again, a difference with Donald Trump, who did not meet the family here in Kenosha.
The underlying racism that is institutionalized in the United States still exists, has existed for 400 years. And so what's happened is that we end up in a circumstance like you had here in Kenosha and have here in Kenosha.
People crowded around the church trying to get a glimpse of Joe Biden, but this visit has been very private and very closed. Trump was criticized for coming to Kenosha while it's still trying to heal from these divisions, and Biden was too, so he kept this very low key.
I honest to God believe we have an enormous opportunity to do a lot of really positive things.
Joe Biden is counting on black votes to propel him to the presidency, and this visit was part of that calculation. As for Kenosha, the curfew has now been lifted. The stores are starting to reopen, and the plywood which protected the glass in front of those stores is now being transformed into colorful murals of peace and community resilience. The city is trying to heal. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Kenosha.